Whoa, this is good. Here's the defining moment, and I'll just be completely honest with you. I can't answer that. Or do we want to just girl math it and just like kind of go in, hug me? Oh my gosh. Like I just spent hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited that you are here today because it is time for our monthly mom chat. This is our space for real life, real encouragement, and honest conversations that is all moms need, and there's no pressure to have it all together. We're going to catch up, talk about what's been on your minds, answer some of your questions, and share what's been grounding me as of late. If you've had a full, busy, overwhelming month, you are in the right place, and I'm so glad that you're here with me. Let's chat a little bit. I'm just gonna cozy on up and chill. I am so glad that the sun is out in Kentucky. It has been, I think the last time we've actually sat down and chatted was our Unpack with Me. That was when the Snowmageddon had happened, and we have been iced for weeks at this point. Then the last mom chat before that was the time where I needed a break, and I cried for the first time on camera, and I can't tell you how many people messaged me, text me, commented on that video of it was just tremendous, the amount of support, because at first I was like, oh my god, I'm for real crying, and I was in an emotional hot mess. And I'm so glad that I have friends like you guys, so thank you all so very much. But today I'm hoping will be a little bit more uplifting. And what have I been up to since the last let's go ahead and just say the I need a break one is the last real mom chat that we've actually had. I didn't include a Q&A, but today I'm going to include the Q&A that I dropped maybe a few weeks ago over on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, I'm much better at communication on Instagram than anything. But yeah, what's been going on in my life? Well, I've been breathing. That's a big perk. One thing that I found out is that when things are quiet and I take a break, my anxiety skyrockets. So I wasn't doing outlines. I wasn't doing any type of YouTube. And man, you guys are so helpful with my anxiety. I missed you all so very much. The connection that I have with you all just is overwhelmingly the medicine that I need in my life. And I'm so glad to be back with you guys. We are in the beginning of February when I'm videoing this, and we've went through January. We've got one trip for 2026 underneath our belt, and the outpour, the fun that we've had on this last trip has been incredibly amazing. And yeah, so since I've been back out of my break, life has been really good. My anxiety is under control. I haven't been on the verge of tears like the last time that you saw me. I mean, real talk, real life. That's the mom life. And busy mom and the magic. Life is very busy. I essentially at this point have 2 full-time jobs. If you don't know me extremely well, we're about to know each other real well on this chat. But yeah, life has just been much better since the last time that we chatted. And the common factor is, man, I have missed you guys. And it was really nice being able to go into the parks a couple weeks ago and seeing and meeting and hugging. I'm a hugger. If you want to meet me, I'm going to be that awkward person that's hug, no hug. It should be a prerequisite or something. I need to know if you're a hugger because I'm going in. I'm right here. Maybe it's the Southern in me. I don't know. I remember whenever I worked for a company, years back, and even the CEO, I'm hug me. No big deal. I'm just a hugger. I can't help it. So yeah, I've missed you guys. I've missed being able to be with you guys in the parks. Now it is go time. So February, we're not in the parks at all, but March 1st, We are on the plane. We are back at it. We're going to see a bunch of you guys this year. So March, we're going down there. And so March from November, we will be going down to Disney World. We are not going on an international flight as of what I know. I have been annoying Tyler. Typically it works, but I'm not sure about this year because some of our goals, and I'll talk to you about some of the goals that we have as a family this year. But I would really, really love to go to Punta Cana. He has done a hard stop on going back to Hawaii this year because of our goals. But I really, really, really want to go to the beach this year. I've talked to a couple of my travel agent friends and some of my busy mom partners out there about cruises this year. It's probably not going to happen this year unless something wild happens like on the back half of this year, but pretty much going to be at Disney World with you guys the whole year. So I've got my dates down. I'm just ready to kick it in Orlando with you guys. If you followed along on our January series, or if you follow me over on Instagram, you will have seen that Annie graduated from preschool in 5 months. So now I have to hurry up and order her kindergarten curriculum and get that rolling. At this point, she's going to graduate high school at like 10 years old, but she loves school. Like, she loves to do the curriculum. I have to stop her from having to do more than one lesson. She absolutely loves it. We do the Good and the Beautiful curriculum. And I know whenever we started, I was pretty good at like doing the monthly homeschool update, but I was like, you know what? I can just put that in my mom chat for those of you guys that are wondering or just like nosy. That's also okay. I'm happy to share that part of our lives with our homeschooling journey. But yeah, she graduated preschool in 5 months. We're going to start kindergarten now. She's, I guess, just going to do 2 grades a year. I don't know, but it's super, super fun. I'm very, very proud of her. But yeah, the homeschooling journey has been amazing. I mean, we're going to keep on doing it. We're going to keep on going. And a lot of people ask how I do it because like I've got the full-time job. I work for corporate America. I've got YouTube. That takes a lot of time. And I'm not a stay-at-home mom and I'm homeschooling. So just to put in perspective for everybody, I have my mom and my mother-in-law who took early retirement. So while I and my husband are at work, or I mean, guess Tyler's at night, so he doesn't really count. But while I'm at work and he is sleeping here, they are here with her. So I don't have to send her to an actual daycare or an actual school establishment during the day. And the perk of that is that they play with her all the time. And so especially at this age, it's very, very crucial that kids are being played with and that they learn a lot during this age. So it's been really, really great for our family. I recognize I'm very, very fortunate that I have the opportunity that Annie gets to stay home and our moms essentially come here to hang out with her. But that is how I know a lot of people are like, how do you even do that? That is how. Is our moms are here with her 3 to 4 times a week. And then Tyler and I are home with her on the other days. So that is how we manage the homeschool journey, but I absolutely love it. And she is 100% thriving. The other part, and I will say this because I made a post about it on Instagram, I wanted to make sure that I clarified as well. Like, we can homeschool on a plane. We can homeschool on the couch. We can homeschool at Disney World in the Hubgrass. We can homeschool like essentially anywhere. So the world is how she learns. So yeah, it's very, very fun and I love it. And I appreciate everybody that has asked and encouraged her and told her that congratulations, because she is 100% thriving in school. I'm pulling up my Q&A questions that I dropped in my Instagram, like the little question bubble, and I'm going to read them probably for the first time. I've not read them, so bear with me. So the first one is dying to know if the manager ever got in contact with you. And I know that this one is in conjunction with our arrival day, like our travel day to All Stars Music. Yes, they did. I'm not going to go through the entire scenario again because it was a long-winded event. Very interesting, the responses that I got, very uplifting and very sympathetic and empathetic, which I very, very much so appreciated. But yeah, y'all are going to have to go watch, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to have to go watch my travel day, baby. But really for the tea, you're going to have to go watch my Unpack with me. And that's when I share like the whole hoopla thing that happened on our last trip. Can you break down a budget for a typical you and Annie trip? Food, hotel, etc. So I don't have my budget sheet with me, but if I could kind of throw out some numbers as we're going. So hotel, the resort is probably one of the most expensive pieces. So I think on the last trip was around $500 for 4 nights, 3 nights, 5, maybe somewhere around there. You have to consider 2 peak days. So if it's a really, really busy time of year, the prices are obviously going to go up. This was January. It was lower prices. In addition, we are annual pass holders, so we get a discount. If you are paying for a resort that's full price and you're not looking at the promotions and or you're not partnering with a travel agent, you're missing out on some savings. So I have a ton of travel agents that I work with. I do not partner with just any travel agent. Anytime that I am partner, I do want to throw this out there. As we go through the year, you will see that I am partnered with some travel agents. I don't just partner with just any travel agent. The first thing that I ever do with a travel agent is I get on a FaceTime or a Google Meets conversation, and we actually get to know each other. I don't just partner with anybody who messages me. It is an actual conversation type of interview. And so just so I can throw that out there. So whenever I do recommend a travel agent, it's because I've personally worked with them and I've actually like kind of signed off on them that I feel like they are also going to be valuable to you as well. So I do feel like I do need to put that out there. Anyway, you got the hotel, partner with a travel agent. If you just want to do it yourself, you need to look up the promotions. There's some savings in there. I don't look for a resort for just the feel that I want. I'm going after the feel and to see if it's going to fit into my budget. Now, if budget is not an issue with you, wear it out. You just do you. But budget is an issue for me. An issue, and I say issue because I like to spend on things that I love. And then the next one is airfare. We always fly to Disney World. We are Delta Gold members, but I don't know if you'll have noticed on my vlogs or not, but I have pulled back from Delta and I fly Allegiant a lot more. Couple reasons for that. Prices. Allegiant is very budget friendly. And then the major part of that is because we fly out of Lexington, Kentucky. I don't want to go to Louisville and I don't want to go to Cincinnati to fly out because that's like a 2-hour drive for us. When I just want to get to the airport and I just want to get back home whenever we land. So you won't catch us really ever flying out of there. I might fly out of Cincinnati on a wild hair. I've been just trying to do it just so I can kind of show examples of different scenarios for you guys, but it's not like my regular programming. So when we fly out of Lexington, there's not a direct flight through Delta or American or United. It's a small airport. So I like the direct. I don't like stopping in Atlanta when we fly Delta and just to get to Orlando. So those are the reasons. I'm always going to be the advocate of doing what's best for your family. If you want to fly Delta, wear it out. We're flying Delta this upcoming trip down on March 1st. We're flying Delta because I wanted an early flight. The time worked best for me. And again, I want to show different scenarios for you guys. So yes, we do have a layover in Atlanta. I'm going to take you through that. And then sometimes there's direct flights. So again, my job is to show options and examples for the majority of people of their journeys. So Delta, we're flying down there and then we're flying Allegiant back. So I would shop around for you, but from a price point, that was a long-winded kind of thing. But from a price point standpoint, I want to say with Allegiant, Annie and I is like, because we have to pay for bags and we're not good at not overpacking. Like we're always going to bring plenty of luggage with us. And I will say with bags and everything, maybe 300 doll hairs, maybe. Another thing that I do love about Allegiant is because you can pay through PayPal, and then girl math makes you feel better because you can do like the PayPal for payment thing. And then you can go to your husband and be like, oh my gosh, like I just spent like $50 on our trip, like to get down there. Just like I did with the Delta because I use the Sky Miles, and I was like, Tyler, honey, I spent $24 for Annie and I to get down to Orlando. It's because I used like thousands of Sky Miles. But anyway, do your thing. That's the price point that I have for airfare. And then we do transportation by Mike to get from the airport to our resort. That is also going to vary with time of year, what vehicle that you need to do. If you are interested in doing private transportation, use my code Moberly10. If you want to stop and get groceries, let him know in the inquiry. But even if you're just trying to get a price point, just submit a form and see what kind of price point that you're going to get. Because I think there is just a lot of variables with that. There's not just a flat rate. And then food. This last trip, we spent a lot more like on miscellaneous stuff because I did go shopping. We hardly ever go shopping like we did in January. But you can make it inexpensive. Like I hardly ever buy snacks unless it's like an ice cream sandwich. I buy water for their rooms. But I would say $1,000. Is that math? That's probably not math. I'm not really good at the budgeting part. I just try to make everything as affordable and inexpensive as I can. And I kind of ignore the final number. But because you're asking, should I be more like numbers driven? Like, would you all like on another monthly chat, would you all like for me to break down, like pull all my transactions and like my bank statement and see how much I truly spent? Is that something you want to see? Or do we want to just girl math it and just like kind of go in and just however it falls is how it falls? Tyler hates that part of me. That's a fact. Okay, so another one. Need tennis shoes recommendations, please. I will say I love my On Clouds and I have my Nike Metcons, which are fantastic. I will link them for you guys, or the QR code. I'll put the QR code up. You can scan it if you're watching on TV, make things a little bit easier for you. But I also will put in there for my favorite shoes, my Reef sandals. Tyler the other day was like, do you need some more Reef sandals? And I was like, I'm not going to spend the money on them. And he was like, it's okay, I will. And I said, perfect, I need Reef sandals. I need another color. So apparently I think he purchased me another pair of Reef sandals. They're the High Water Vistas. They work for me. They work for my feet. I love them. I love them that they can get wet. Like I can wear them to the pool. I can wear them to the water parks. And I can wear them if they're raining and life is fine. Like I do not like soggy shoes if it's going to rain. So those are my favorites. I'll put everything in the description, the QR code, favorite shoes. Favorite resort of all time. Now, Krista, that's a hard question. I can't answer that, but I will break them down with deluxe, moderate, and value. And I think I am getting better. Now, it's easier to tell you what I don't like, what resorts that I don't like, but I'm not going to say that out loud for everyone to hear just because I don't want to start arguments in the comment section. But my favorite value is probably Pop Century. Their customer service has never disappointed me, personally. And Amy loves it, and it's on the Skyliner. I think that's great. Moderate, I think I finally made my decision because for years it's been between French Quarter and Caribbean Beach. I think It's going to be Caribbean beach. I think so. The vibe is fantastic. You've got the Riviera. You've got the Skyliner. You've got 2 options of the Skyliner. There's a Joffrey's coffee. They have a really cool play area. I mean, the French Quarter does too, but I think it's my favorite. Now, honorable mention, I love Coronado as well. That is a very, very special resort for us because it was Annie's very first Disney resort. So we stayed in the tower, and that's a really great place to stay if you've got like a love for the luxurious feel and you don't want the price tag. So it's like $250 a night. If there's a promotion typically on there somewhere, give or take in there. That's not for the tower. It's for the other ones, but totally, I mean, that's pretty good price for a moderate resort with a lot of, I mean, that one's a vibe too. And their street nachos, so good. I love them. And they have a really fun pool. They have a really great side, but I do have to do the honorable mention. See, this is what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? Like, I have a hard time with the favorites but I do know what I don't like. So, and I do know what I don't like. If you all have been around me on the YouTube for a while and you know that I always put my honest opinions out there on a vlog with like the actual experience, you know, you all could probably guess what my least favorite value and least favorite moderate is. You probably could guess. And you might also be able to guess my least favorite deluxe. I don't know. That's it. That's the thing. Deluxe favorite. See, it's another hard one. We love the beach and yacht. The location is superior. You also have Stormalong Bay. The only thing that makes me reserved in that is because we don't thrive with food. Like their quick service, like their mobile pickups, not great options. But you do have Cape May if you want to do like a sit down character meal. But just from like the stay and the vibe, I love the beach and yacht. I think that might be one of Tyler's favorites. I also adore Animal Kingdom Lodge, but I also makes me sad because buses, it's the only bus thing, and transportation is like a huge consideration when you're trying to choose where to stay. And then I love the Grand. I really do. Like, I can't help it. I really, really do. And I don't even like the monorail. I really don't. I don't think the monorail makes things easier when you're staying at the Grand Floridian. I would rather just walk to Magic Kingdom. And then it takes forever and a day to get to Epcot, but I love the Grand Floridian, and I can't simply help it. I also love the Wilderness Lodge. You know, I can't name favorites, but I know what I don't like. Any issues with your stroller and belongings being messed with while you're on a ride? Yes. The answer is yes. There are some issues with the stroller whenever I'm on a ride, and it's always the same thing that happens. The squirrels are out of control. The birds are out of control. Those are the things that are going to mess with your stroller. You didn't anticipate that answer, did you? You didn't anticipate it. No, they're crazy. Don't leave food left in your stroller. Don't leave unopened cups, because I've seen those things live their best life on some strollers. And then I think about like a kid coming back and start eating on their pretzel. Disgusting. Yeah. But from like the human species bothering with strollers, I know I've heard stories, but I have not personally experienced it. I have experienced a cast member moving my stroller at the park close, and they were like, this is roped off. Like, nobody's allowed to be back there. And I'm like, ma'am, my stroller's back there. And she was like, no, it's not back there. We've already cleared it out. And I'm like, ma'am, I literally have an Apple AirTag and it's right there. And she was like, okay, I'll walk you. And there it was, lo and behold. But as a stranger messing with something, stealing something, I've personally never had that happen. But I would also add, would never leave anything of value in my stroller. So I have all my cameras, I have all my phones, my monies on me. I don't bring Annie's iPad into the parks. Like, anything that I can't keep on my person, and that's why I love my jumbo fanny packs from Sony. Like, they carry everything. They hold everything. So I just don't leave anything of value. And I do have my Apple AirTag in my stroller. So that's what I would recommend. But also, don't let the squirrels and the birds take your stuff, because they're going to. It's factual. I only lay down the facts, and that's a fact. This is a good question. Anything you wish you packed more of or less of? No. And I'll tell you no, because when I pack, I try to be as thoughtful as possible. And this question was specific to like our winter trip whenever there was some cold snaps coming through. But I feel like it's very relatable throughout the entire year of Florida. The weather changes all year long. It could be like beautiful and sunny, and then the next day, like, gonna be huge thunderstorms. So I always try to watch the weather up until a couple days, really all the way until departure, but really try to make my finalizations at that 3-day mark, just in case. Just keep the eye on the weather, and then also pack for what could change. So that would just be silly of me to say, hey, there's no rain on the forecast, and not pack any of my rain gear. The rain gear is always coming with me. That would be silly to say, oh, the weather's going to be perfect. It's going to be 60 degrees, even for our winter trips. Like, it's going to be really, really cold. I'm not going to pack sunscreen. That, personally, to me, that would be silly. So I do pack thoughtfully of just in cases. That is the part where I do overpack. Like, Tyler's always like, I could just pack blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but then when you got out of the shower, you asked if I brought any Q-tips. Of course I brought Q-tips. You didn't pack them in your bag. So yeah, I always come prepared, but that's a part of like my brain. I'm always trying to think 10 steps ahead for what could possibly happen. Just like, I think of like Band-Aids, or the other day when we were in Epcot, one of my friends that I met on here on Instagram, Whitney, and she and I were talking because she's a content creator. You should go follow her, by the way. And one of her little girls fell. And I was like, I don't have my Band-Aids with me. They're in my meds packing cube. And I literally just said on my pack with me the other day, don't forget to bring Band-Aids into the parks with you, because accidents happen and it's really, really hard to find a Band-Aid in the parks. And we laughed, because when we say we recommend something, like, we really do mean it. Doesn't mean that we're perfect either, but that just it goes to show that, like, I am always intentional with everything I pack. I just have to remember to, like, bring the things that are very, very much so needed in the parks with this. I mean, we all forget things, but nonetheless, yeah, there's not really anything that I wish that I didn't pack, and or wished that I did pack, because I do go by my checklist and I try to be very, very thoughtful and intentional, because it's not just that I'm packing for myself, I'm helping you guys pack as well. And so I have to put my thinking cap on of what is going to make things easier for all of my friends on here, that's going to make their lives easier. So yeah, great question. Wonderful question. I liked being able to talk to you guys about that. Tips for avoiding sickness going with toddler and baby in a few weeks. I did talk about this on, I think it was my last, maybe, I don't remember if it was a pack or prep with me, but yes, I actually do certain things before we leave. I actually cut back sugar before we head out. So sugar suppresses the immune system. And so I know personally, whenever we go to Disney World, there's going to be a lot more yeses to sugars and treats and sodas versus as if we were here. So I do try to pull back on a lot of the sugars and the snacks to make sure that we're going with a really, really great immune system. I like to make sure that we're getting vitamin D. If the weather allows, I love to be able to get our stamina up, walk the neighborhood. Annie just asked me the other day, she's like, as soon as it's nice outside, can we get back onto our running routine? Is what she called it. Because every day whenever it's nice outside, every day whenever I come home, we'll run the neighborhood. And I like to just get some vitamin D, get some sunlight, get some stamina in, and then also build up some immunity. So like vitamin C, put some electrolytes, build up some of your hydration. I think that probiotics would be something really, really good for your family. But yeah, supplement. Eat well, pull back on some sugar, because whenever you do go to Disney World, your diet is naturally just going to change because you're on vacation. Unless you're literally staying in a villa with a full kitchen and you've ordered groceries, your diet is going to change quite a bit. So a lot more processed foods, a lot more oil and grease than what our family is specifically used to. And yeah, just build the immune system, prepare it, and then continue the supplements throughout your Disney trip. Bring your emergency, bring their little vitamins, and I think you'll be totally fine. If you are scared for your children to be sick, then I would add in some additional layers that you think are best for your kiddos and for your family. Now, I will say that Tyler often gets sick right after a vacation. So I really do have to be very strategic and smart with him. There's been actually a few trips where he's been sick actually on vacation, whether that's the C word. He had salmonella one time on a trip to Punta Cana. So life does happen. We do get sick. We're not perfect humans by any means as well, but we can't stop the sickness when the sickness is going to happen. So just try to do your best. I always, always, always bring a thermometer, and I always bring like allergy medicines with us, some acetaminophen with us. And you can always go downstairs too if you need some medications. It's just limited, but I always, if you've watched my pack and preps, I always bring my meds packing cube. I try to be as prepared as possible. It's the mom brain though. Like, again, I'm always trying to think 10 steps ahead just in case. How did you guys get so into Disney? Love your vlogs. First of all, thank you very much. That's a lot of work. So I always appreciate whenever somebody says something very, very kind about our vlogs. How did you guys get so into Disney? So my grandparents actually lived in Florida, I think up until I was 10 years old. I could be wrong with that, but we have all kinds of home videos of us going down to Florida. I've got cousins down there still. They live in the Bay Area, and my great aunt and uncle lived down there as well. My grandparents were in the military too. So we would go down to Florida. There's some really great home videos of us going to Disney World with my grandparents and my mom and dad. I've got some memories from a cheer competition in Disney World as well when I cheered All-Stars. But then I grew up, and then I was like in my 20s, and I was like, Tyler, well, I want to go to Disney. I just want to go. Because like everybody, I feel like majority of people is somewhere in their life, they're like, I just want to experience Disney World at least once. Tyler had never went to Disney, and I just got the hunch that I just wanted to go to Disney. And so we made a way to go to Disney, and I'm telling you, we had no money. Like, when I think back on how I came up with the funds to go to Disney, we stayed off property, and like, oh my God, I was scraping pennies, but I had to make it happen. So we went to Disney World, and that was his first time. I think that was in 2016. It was my nephew's very, very first time actually going. And then 2017, again, we scraped pennies to go. We stayed off property again. And it was more affordable for us. Tickets are very expensive to go to Disney. And that was the year that he proposed. And then we didn't go in 2018. We didn't go in 2019. And then I got pregnant with Annie, had her in 2020. And then I was like, I want to just go with her. And so it just kind of evolved. I really don't know when there was a point in our lives where I was like, Disney, I am going to be a Disney crazy person. Like, that's not what it is. I love going to Disney because it creates memories and like a certain place that holds a lot of memories. And there's so much nostalgia, whether that's being with my family or with my parents and my grandparents, my brother. And there's just so much nostalgia there that I continue to go back because it reminds me of so many wonderful memories. And then I think like we started going accidentally. Like I have my friend Sarah, who's a travel agent, and she didn't help at all. Like Tyler's like, are you talking to Sarah again? Like you all are bad news when you're talking together. Cause I was just booking and booking and booking. And then I started recording because I was like, I'm already here. Why not? I'll just vlog it all. So yeah, it's nothing really that stood out. We love going to non-Disney places as well. Like like I said, I'm really wanting to go back to the beach. I really want to go back to Punta Cana. We love all-inclusive resorts and we dream of other vacations as well. But Disney's just really, really easy for us to go down and have some good family time. And at this point, it's just a part of our lives because you guys are involved as well. So we just have a big old family now that we've extended. And yeah, I don't remember us having like one definitive moment where we're like, we're going to be doing Disney forever. But it just it's just nostalgia that continues to follow me through my life. And then I told Tyler, I was like, you literally proposed at Disney. Like that was just another stamp of another memory. So yeah, it just kind of happened. What trips do you have planned for the year so far? I have us planned through half of my May trip. I still need to finish out the May trip. I have my dates tentatively scheduled all through the year. But on paper, I have halfway through May. So for March, we are doing the Polynesian, Art of Animation Family Suites, and we are back at All Star Music. Then in April, we are doing Pop Century and Old Key West. And then in May, we're doing Animal Kingdom Lodge at Jambo. So to be continued. I really am trying to hit the resorts that you all want me to go to. So I know I've heard recently a lot of Caribbean Beach. I've had a few Riviera and French Quarter in there. So what are you all wanting me to do? I want to know where to go for you guys. I'd love to hear your tips on becoming successful on YouTube. You're an inspiration. That is a very, very nice message. Becoming successful on YouTube. I think that was very generous for you to say. I think we've not hit 3 years yet. So we're 2 years in on YouTube. And like I said earlier, I just kind of jumped into it. The first year was a blur to me, and I truly didn't realize what I was getting myself into of how complicated it is. And I feel like just now being able to get grounded in it, like a thought process, like I have to plan, or it's just way overwhelming for me at this point. But really, here's the defining moment, and I'll just be completely honest with you. I was okay the first year. I did become monetized within 3 months that I started, which was a blessing. That was very, very, I'll say unique. Now that I work with a lot of content creators and build relationships with a lot of content creators, I realized that was not normal. By the way, when I say I work with a lot of content creators, I have a Facebook page that's called Busy Moms on a Mission. And what it is it's a group where all these women have come together and we're there to help support and grow and give tips and tricks. And whether they're a travel agent, whether they're a small business owner, whether they aspire to make content to supplement a little bit of income, like there's various stories of women in this group. And so it's been a really, really nice place for us all to gather. And I'd love to say the best way that I can explain it is I believe that there is a seat for everyone at the table. And something that I try to teach Annie is that you don't have to tear someone down to be able to also be successful. Everybody can be successful as well. So that's what I mean whenever I say that I work with a lot of content creators and have now realized that that was very unique of a story for me. But then year 2, I really had a come to Jesus moment where I was just throwing out content. Like I think I was doing 3 videos a week and I was just begging God, I need you to give me time back with my family. Like I really just miss them. I was struggling a lot with my full-time job of just the mom guilt of how much time was spent away from Annie and Tyler. And then I got really convicted of you are literally doing breathing YouTube. That's all that you're doing. And that's something for you to understand is like, I'm a very, very driven person. Like I set a goal and I'm like locked in on it. And so I really had to pull myself back of I'm asking God to give me more time, but yet I'm working more. That doesn't math out. If I truly believe that God is faithful and that he is going to answer my prayers and answer the desires of my heart, then I also need to be faithful to my family and also faithful in him. And so I pulled back to only 2 videos a week. And yes, that is still a lot of work. It takes hours to edit videos, and certain videos, like I have to do them broken up into days because it is so much work. Anyway, so that moment, and I can even see it on my graphs and like there's some measurement tools that I have. I can see as soon as I started that, it just took off and literally doubled in a month's time. And so I'm like, okay, I hear you, God. You're in full control. I understand your sentiment. I understand what you're trying to tell me. And so that's year 2 is really where it really became more tangible, because whenever I started YouTube, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to like make enough money eventually to pay for our Disney World trips? And then it happened, and then I started resetting our goals of, oh crap, maybe this could potentially be like a full-time thing eventually. So we had to reset our goals, and that kind of plays in, and I'll go into that part now, but that goes into our 2026 goals of what does my future look like as a full-time employee? Like we have to make steps in our lives in order for me to get time back. So Tyler and I have had some really serious financial discussions about what our like 5-year plan looks like. And first of all, the first goal that has to happen is we have to become completely debt free. And so that is our 2026 goal this year, is to be debt free. And there is a lot of sacrifices, a huge mental change in me. And it's really hard because my YouTube channel, you have to have a lot of money to be able to sustain it. It's not like I'm sitting around the house doing mom stuff and videoing it and putting it up. Like that's a lot more inexpensive than me having to get on a plane, buy a hotel room, buy food, and all the things. And so my YouTube channel costs a lot of money to get the content to show you guys. And so it's very complicated from a financial standpoint to be able to deliver for you guys. And so we've had some serious talks, some serious goals, and some very sharp game plans, I would say. So that is like our big family 2026 goal, is to completely get debt free minus the mortgage. And fingers crossed, step one, I can check it off. I've been very, very dedicated to this. But I do like a goal. And I also couldn't do this without you all. Like when you shop my links, when you watch my videos all the way through, you don't click off the ads, like all of those small gestures play such a huge part in our life. And I truly hope that you all can feel my heart through the screen right now of you are really, really being beyond helpful to me and my family. And I hope you know how appreciated that you are of just, I don't know, just caring about me. And it means a lot. I think that's a really great transition as well, because I was talking to some friends also on my Busy Moms on a Mission page of them feeling like they're behind, or like the work that they're doing is not good enough. And that's just to content creation. But I feel like that's a normal feeling that we all feel as moms, of not feeling good enough, or not feeling like we're hitting the mark, or feeling like we're failing, or we've got so much on our plate that we just are not good. Like I don't know how to really explain it, because I've been there before as well. And I don't know if you all have grabbed it or not, but I did start the devotional of the book that I put on my Instagram the other day. And I know life is super, super busy, so I don't expect like everybody to read it along with me, but let me just say that it's really, really, really good. And I'm not sitting in the bed at nighttime and reading this book either. Like, I'm using Audible on my way to work. So that's even an option for you too. It's called The Well-Watered Woman. And whenever I was looking for a good devotional, I really do have a lot of you guys messaging me on like, what's the best devotional? Like, what's a good next one? And I'm like, I don't know, because I don't know what season that you're in. And then I just kind of started looking around for one, and I'm like, oh, this would be a really, really great thing to put into my monthly mom chats of like a devotional that I'm working on, and just kind of talking about it. Or if it's optional, if you all wanted to read it along with me as well. And I just randomly picked it. First of all, it's a really beautiful cover, honestly. And there's some parts in there, I'm like, whoa, this is good. This is some good stuff. And so first of all, it plays off of the word well. And so the well-watered woman, I immediately think of like you being filled up. And because, we're always pouring out our everything to our family, and to sometimes feeling like we're left empty. And so that's what I essentially thought of whenever I saw it. But then it started talking about like the well, and like going to the well, like in the Bible, whenever it talks about the woman at the well, and she was like that whole story of like the well watered. And so then Jesus is talking to her about like, he is the living water. And I'm like, well, that was a nice spin of Jesus is everything that we ever need. We can go to the well with nothing. We have nothing. We don't even have to have anything to be able to present ourselves before the Lord, and him being able to provide. I'm going to cry again. We don't even have to have anything. We can just bring him our nothing, and he is there with living water that is going to sustain us no matter what season that we're in. And I thought that was just so beautiful. And this is me driving to work, you all. hot mess. It's so good. It's such a good devotional. And I'm like, oh, that's such a beautiful, beautiful picture of, bringing in the Bible and the story, and then being able to apply it to my life. And I'm telling you, I'm only in like chapter 4. And then it also talks a lot about like our roots and what we're rooted in. So whether that being like, are we rooted in Christ? And if we are rooted in Christ, what do we think about ourselves? How do we see ourselves? And then it made me reflect on how I see myself. Because if initially, before I really dig deep into myself, on the surface, I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm good, because that's generally what I've trained myself to portray. But whenever I like look down deep into my heart of like my roots, what are they rooted in? Are they rooted in Christ? And what do you think about yourself? How do you see yourself? And then I was like, oh my gosh, like, how do I see myself? Like, Tyler can tell me, like, you look so hot today. You are so sexy. You're gorgeous. And then I immediately, like, go back at him and I'm like, ew, no. And then I say something negative about myself, of, like, the way that I see myself. And then I'm like, well, So I'm listening to her talking about what I'm rooted in and how I see myself and how does God see me. And I'm like, okay, I've got to work on that. And then another picture that she painted was whenever you plant something and you're watering it and it's just not doing anything and it's dying. But that's because you didn't have any type of drainage system and it just sat and the water just sat and you're sitting there in nastiness and you never drained anything out. And so then I'm like, okay, well, that's a really great picture too of like, what are we watering ourselves with? And then we're not draining it out. So there's all kinds of stuff in the world that is crazy. And what are we filling ourselves with? What does our algorithm look like? What are we watching on YouTube? What are we allowing in our home? And it's just watering it. And it's not the living water. It's not Jesus watering us. And then our roots are just sitting with no drain in the bottom of this plant. And it's just dying. And then I was like, well, that's fantastic too. And like I said, I'm going into chapter 4, I believe. I think I finished chapter 3 last night. And it is such a beautiful book portraying the love of Christ and all bringing it back to something as simple as the well-watered woman, whether it is like a literal plant and we're watering her, like we're watering her with goodness. Who does God say that we are? Who does he say that we are as moms, wives, women? Like, who does God see us as? And I always tell Annie, like, God sees us, like, we are such unique creatures. Like, women, we are so special that, like, whenever I think of how God thinks of us as women, I feel like he is like, nailed it. I did such a good job. Like, they're gorgeous. They're intuitive. They're so smart. They're nurturing. Like, we're the heart of our homes. What an honor for God to place that in our lives. And what an honor it is to be a woman and to be able to do that. And so it is such a stunning, stunning book. And I highly recommend you either getting like the hardcover or even listening to it, because it's a tremendous book. Going to the well, even when you're broken, even when you feel like you have nothing. And Jesus is the water. He is the living water. It never runs dry. He can water our plants. We can drain our system, and we can be showered in his love and his light and his grace. That was another one that I was like, you're talking to me, being able to apply grace to myself. And it is so daggone good. But what I will say to you, Mama, is that I know that there are some times where life is really, really crazy as a mom. And you feel like your head is spinning and you don't know which way to go. And you feel like your cup is absolutely empty. You haven't slept in months. You haven't ate right in years. And you're really, really hard on yourself. And I want you to know that God is the living water. With him, you will never go thirsty. And I pray for you today, especially the woman and the mom that feels very, very empty. I pray for you. And I'm going to pray for you right now. God, I thank you for the women that are still with me on this vlog. Even though we might be screens apart, states away, countries away. God, I pray that they would feel your love, that they would feel your compassion, that they would feel wholeness from you. I ask right now, Lord, that you would wrap your arms around them, that they would feel full and complete in you, that they would know their worth through you, that they would know that their value is far more than rubies, far more than all the jewels in the world. I ask God right now that you would touch them, heal their minds, heal the anxiety in their lives. I ask that you would remove every evil thought that enters their mind, remove any horrible thought that they think about themselves right now in the name of Jesus. And I ask, God, that you would plant a seed of hope in their lives, in their heart, that whatever is in their heart, God, that would be made of you, that would be in the light of you, and that would be a direct reflection of your compassion and your love. And ultimately, God, at the end of the day, you died for all of us. And we thank you, Jesus, for the cross. We thank you that we can go to the cross, that we can ask you, Lord, that you would move on the behalf of these women. And we thank you, Jesus, that we can apply your blood, that we can apply your grace, and we can apply your mercy to our lives every single day. And I ask that you would touch every single heart on this vlog. And if someone does not know you, Jesus, I ask that they would come to know you as their Savior and as the only thing in life that they need, Jesus, and that they would know that every good thing comes from you. God, I thank you for these women on this vlog, and I thank you for this community that you've created, and that you've created a place where we can all come to glorify you, and that we can all come to create community before you, Jesus. And we thank you, and I thank you for these women, a part of this family. In Jesus' name, amen. I hope that you feel the love of Christ in this vlog today. And I know it's a little bit out of the ordinary, but I really, really care for you guys. And this is the best thing that I can offer and that I can give you guys. I truly do love you all, and I hope that you can feel that as well. And I'm going to go be with my family. And I love you guys. And I will see you guys on the next Mom Chat. I really hope that I do. I love you all. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
It's always been you, Jesus. It's always